Well, I'm a filmmaker and optimist. I spent the last couple of years working for Al Gore's cable station, Current TV. But more recently, I left the network to create my own series of short-form documentaries that explore the co-evolution of humans and technology in a really artful, visceral way. I'm really excited by the exponential growth curves of technology. Ever since I read Ray Kurzweil's book, The Singularity is Near, and I found out that the cell phone in your pocket today is 1,000,000 times cheaper, 1,000,000 times smaller, and 1,000 times more powerful than a $60 million supercomputer was that was half a building in size in Stanford 40 years ago. That billion-fold increase in price and performance and miniaturization is continuing. If we were able to see human progress as if through time-lapse photography, we would literally see our thoughts spilling over into the world. So the future is ours to create and ours to dream. And so what I'm trying to communicate with these videos, which are non-commercial shots of philosophical espresso, is I'm trying to convey the awe and the wonder and sort of transmute that excitement that I feel when I come across these ideas, because I think ideas only resonate when people feel something. So the video I'm going to show you is called Imagination. It's one of several. They're all available online, and the purpose really is to inspire you. As the last line of Ray Kurzweil's book, The Singularity is Near, says, our ability to create virtual models in our heads combined with our modest-looking thumbs was sufficient to usher in the secondary force of evolution called technology, and it will continue until the entire universe is at our fingertips. And if that's not inspiring, I don't know what is. Terence McKenna had this great line. He said, from the moment that human beings invented language, biological evolution ceased and became a cultural epigenetic phenomenon. So there's this idea that we take in matter of little organization, it goes through our mental filters, and then we extrude it in the form of space shuttles and iPhones. This is what human beings do, and I think that it's important for us to create artful, mimetic content that can leap from brain to brain and remind people of the world of wonders that we live in, to kind of pull you out of context and so sort of force you to gawk in amazement at the ubiquitous everyday wonders that you're culturally conditioned to ignore. And that's kind of the idea behind this. So hopefully it'll work. Because we can imagine, we are free. The Imaginary Foundation, which I adore, and I quote them all the time, they say that the whole, the goal of human imagination is to imagine, to conjure up all these delightful future possibilities, these delightful future scenarios. Pick the most amazing and ecstatic one, and then guess what? Pull the present forward to meet that possibility. And guess what? We can do that. Ray Kurzweil talks about the fact that because we can create virtual models in our brains and combined with our modest-looking thumbs, that was sufficient to usher in the secondary force of evolution called technology, and how it will continue until the entire universe is at our fingertips and we impregnate the universe with intelligence. Or Terence McKenna, when he says that, what human beings do is take in matter of little organization, put it through our mental filterings, literally, and then extrude it in the form of space shuttles or iPhones. I mean, that's literally what's going on. If you were able to look at human progress as if through a time lapse over the last 100 years, you would see that literally thoughts spill over into the world in the form of technology. We engage in feedback loops with that technology, which then extends our ability to instantiate new realities in the world. People talk about rendering files on Final Cut Pro, we're more and more rendering our visions, our dreams, onto the instantiated Euclidean meat space. And that's incredible, and that's only increasing. Our capability, our ability to do that is only increasing because, we're only limited by our imagination, and it's really the case. I mean, what you have now is this, you have exponential progress, right? These exponential growth curves in information technology that point to the fact that the computer in your cell phone today is 1,000,000 times cheaper, 1,000,000 times smaller, and 1,000 times more powerful than a $60 million supercomputer was that was half a building in size 40 years ago. That's a billion-fold increase in price and performance and miniaturization. That's going to continue. So in the next 25 years, computers will be the size of blood cells interfacing with our biological bodies, trillions of times more powerful capabilities. And then you also have that information technology exponential growth curve spilling over into biotechnology. Freeman Dyson talks about the domestication of biotech, things like GPS that were once these big government things, and now everybody has GPS on their phone. So imagine the same thing with biotechnology. It's not going to be like Monsanto, big genetic engineering corporations. No, it's going to be like we're each going to be able to engineer our own food and have in vitro meat and reprogram our own biochemistry, upgrade our biology, live longer, reverse engineer aging, stop entropy from killing us. I mean, and then, okay, that's biotech. Then you have nanotechnology, which is to manipulate matter at the level of the atom. So at that point, the building blocks of the physical world will be programmable. So literally, we can turn, dog shit into pearls. I mean, talk about abundance. Talk about giving the world everything they could ever need and more. I mean, each of us increasingly moving into universes of our own construction. Then artificial intelligence, virtual reality, hacking into our nervous systems, creating non-biological intelligence or a biotechnological hybrid that augments and feeds upon itself in some recursive feedback loop that then expands onto forever. And you're talking about substrate-independent minds, trillions of times more powerful than we are now. And if we can imagine it, why not make it so?